Hello and welcome to episode 48 of Pentagon for Gold. It's all been a little bit crazy. We won the Apertura, which was amazing, and then here we've made our first signing of the window, in fact probably our only signing of the window, Manuel Mino, who's 17 and looks very good. He's not joining till the end of the season sadly, but he looks pretty good for 17 and I reckon he's going to be a really good player. He's currently at Liverpool de Montevideo and we've signed him for a total of 1.9 million with 1.7 up front. If we then have a look, we've also sold Mejia to Monterrey. We actually got better bids from other clubs, but they were the only club we really wanted to go to, so we kept that one open just because I'd rather sell him than not sell him. So we've got 925k from that deal. The board have also forced a transfer embargo right after we made that signing. It was literally the next advance, so it was lucky that we got that through. And so we got a consortium takeover from, who is it? A business tycoon, Federico Perez, who's leading it. And he intends to invest upwards of 9.5 million, which isn't an awful amount. But yeah, it looks like we're going to get a takeover, which is quite exciting. It does mean our transfer business is basically done, at least our incomings. And so if we have a look at our transfer history, we've got Juan Carlos Sucar as a goalkeeper. He looks very good. He's 18, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential, 6'4", good aerial reach and reflexes, as well as good positioning and determination, which is good for his potential improving. He's only played 3 games in his career, so I'm not quite sure how he's already so good. But we're excited to have him in. I suspect he'll be a bit similar to Carlos Aquino, who we signed in our time at Cape Town Spurs, but a fair bit taller than him. And so he played 1 game, didn't have to make a save, but it's exciting to have him in. If we then have a look at the outgoings, we've had Jan Parra leaving for Pumas for 3.4 million. Jesus Navarez has gone on loan to Querétaro. Mario Marua has gone for 575 to 1.6 million. A lot more than I thought, to be honest. I think they approached a signing, maybe he was too young or something for them not to get away without doing any compensation payments. But I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. But anyway, yes, we've got Sucar and Mino in, and that's very exciting. So here's some interest from Chivas for. He's on loan from us to Atlante, 2-star current ability. He's got good finishing and dribbling, but he doesn't seem to be good enough because he's only 2-star. I guess it's probably the low composure that's causing the problem. It actually does look quite good elsewhere. But yeah, we are happy to lose him, and hopefully we can get a little bit of extra money if we can sell him early. But so it's been a slightly crazy start to proceedings with this window. We've played 1 game in the Clausura. It was a 0-0 draw. We dominated but didn't really threaten the goal too much. So I probably won't show you much of the Clausura, but I thought this was an interesting turn of events happening here. So next time in the next little skip, you will see some games probably in the Clausura, but I wouldn't expect to see too much of the Clausura just because we've already succeeded in getting first place or champions in the Apertura. Well, it's been just over a month and now we have a takeover happening. Federico Perez has run his consortium and they've taken over the club, and hopefully that means we get a bit more money coming in. So 3.9 million, less than the 9 million they promised before, but not a bad amount to receive, to be honest. And we've also got some bids in. We'll have a look at those in a moment. And what's the expectations? We've still got the Ecuadorian players' expectation, which is annoying. But I guess there's nothing to be done about that. But everything else we're doing well. And we're no longer linked to. Oh, that's a shame we're no longer linked to America. It would have been quite nice to keep the players on loan from there. And I didn't really bother because they still ask for a lot of money. And we're now out of the embargo. Great news all round. So if we jump back to the 2 players that have got bids in for, we have Andres Oliva, who currently plays. Oh yes, this is the guy I wanted last year. 5.5 million though. Why do we need to spend that much? I mean, he's a good striker, but we're not exactly short of strikers, particularly with our new Uruguayan coming in. And 5.5 million for him is quite a lot. And Felix Tolosa from Tigres, he looks okay. Nothing special, I wouldn't say. I don't know quite why they've gone for him. I'd prefer, like, if they're putting in, how much is that bid actually? So they're doing 8 million or so. It would have been nice if they could have got some slightly better players for that money, but you know, I think I could have done better negotiating, but we're still getting some players, and basically I'm not having to do anything, so that's quite nice. Yeah, wasn't necessarily what I was expecting, but there you go. Well, it turns out my board, while they're not just useless in actually going for players that I want, also useless in terms of actually negotiating with players. So Tolosa's turned them down already, and yeah, he's not going to be coming. Meanwhile, Oliva's still in negotiations over a contract, but to be honest, I don't really want him, particularly for that amount of money. I think it could be much better spent elsewhere, because striker's just about the last position we actually need a player now, because we've already got a striker coming in from Liverpool de Montevideo in Manuel Mino, who looks, if anything, better than Oliva. So I guess we'll see how that goes. So it's all gone a little bit crazy. So Hummel has now moved. If we scroll down a little bit and go to transfer deadline day, Chengdu got a little bit excited about our players. So we got a 7.25 million bid for Lara, then 4.6 for Calderon, 2.3 for Lopez, 3.2 for Calderon. Not quite sure why they went down there. Then 6.25 for Calderon, 6.5 for Calderon, Jorge Lopez for 4.9, and then they eventually signed Iran Labarato, who we had on our shortlist. They just wouldn't leave us alone for deadline day. It was getting a bit ridiculous. And here we go, Andres Oliva. The club have agreed to sign him, but I don't want him, and actually I didn't think I'd get this choice, so I'm going to cancel it. I don't really want him for that much money, because financially we've only got 8 million in the bank. I don't want to be, you know, really struggling in the in January, in the next window, to actually make any signings because we've got no money. I'd rather just, you know, stay with what we've got and then use that money elsewhere in the squad to invest in a better player in a position that we are not in such a strong position. So here we go in the Copa MX final against Querétaro, who were actually the last opponents we had in the semi-finals of the Apertura. Let's hope we can get a good result against them. We are heavy favourites for this, apparently, which I imagine is just because our team is doing pretty well. We are, I think, second in the league, maybe? We're certainly in the top four. We're doing pretty well, but let's hope we can keep that going here with a good performance, and we've started it really well. Second minute in, and Jorge Ramirez has already scored. That is a phenomenal start from the lads. That's exactly what we needed. And instantly there's another highlight, so hopefully this will be us scoring again, so we can relax for the second leg a bit. But here is Olivar. And Hernandez goes for a long shot. Difficult one to execute, and Sukar was able to watch that drift wide of his post with no real trouble, to be honest. Salto sends it in, but Barbosa is there to head it out, and now Jorge Lopez has sent it into Jorge Ramirez. Benitez finds Lopez on the left, and Ramirez has a little bit of space in the centre of the pitch. Not the greatest pass from him, and it's headed out by Acosta. Eventually, though, their clearance has made it to Calderon, and now Barbosa can stretch his legs. Calderon on the right-hand side. Come on, lad. Mercado. And he finds... Oh, eventually it makes its way through to Barbosa. Jorge Ramirez getting the assist for that. I'm not quite sure how much he was trying to do that. I think it was saved and deflected to Barbosa, but... yeah, so Calderon here passes it into Mercado, sends it into the box for Ramirez, and I think it might have deflected off a defender, to be honest. It's a bit difficult to work out exactly what happened there. Barbosa now seems to picked up some kind of injury, which isn't great, but at least we're in a stage of the season where it doesn't really matter too much what happens, so we can always replace him quite nicely. Zubiarte with a bit of a dangerous run there. Just eventually the shot did drift wide, But it was a nice bit of play from him overall. Barbosa doesn't seem to be getting any better. He doesn't have an injury signed by him, so I guess he's okay, but he still hasn't recovered to even a yellow heart, which suggests he's probably not okay. It's probably something minor, like a bruised foot or whatever. Nunez with a good challenge. It was lucky that he did make contact there, because he was very close to getting the man. And Camarena's put us 3-0 up. Nice little bit of play all round there, but Camarena with a really convincing finish. And it's 3-0, and we're not even at half time yet. This is the kind of performance we were looking for in this first leg. What a performance. Let's go for the same team talk as before, and I think Barbosa should come off now, given that he's still not entirely fit. Rafael Chan can come on in his place. Not quite as good a player, but he's had a decent season overall. And Zubiarte sending in the corner into Benitez, who gets underneath it, and it's gone straight over the top of the bar. We're really dominating this game. Good possession, 66% to 34%. Average rating, we're almost 0.8 ahead, well, over 0.8 ahead of them, which is certainly a sign that we've been a fair bit better than they have. Start thinking about subs shortly. Probably Zubiarte will come off for Meza, and Ramirez can come off as well. Mercado finds Calderon in space. It's a really nice bit of play there. And he's blocked off by Acosta, and they are now looking to counter-attack through Flores. Good pace from him there. Made his way into the box, and Nunez with a good tackle. And now Salto gets another chance at sending it in. It was a good attempt. I think it hit the post in the end, but certainly had Sukar worried. And Nunez has managed to clear it out in a dangerous situation, really. I think now is the time to get Zubiarte off, so we'll get Meza on, and Jorge Ramirez can come off for Edeguera. They've started to come back into it a bit more, but they're still not really creating the greatest chances. They're just getting a few shots off. Jorge Lopez throwing it into Mesa, who sends it back and returns the favour. Lots of 1-2s going on here. Oh, it's a good ball into Jorge Lopez, who uses the pace to good effect. And now Mesa bridges his man. Camarena eventually has a shot blocked. Looked like a dangerous situation for them to deal with, but he's done well in the end to block it, the defender. And now Camarena goes past his man. Decent attempt, but pretty comfortable save for Guest in the end. Contreras headed back by Calderon into the arms of Sukar. He sends it long. It's made its way to Mesa, and Camarena's in the centre, ready for a pass. It looks like Mesa's going all by himself, and he's dragged it wide, but not an awful attempt. It was probably quite a difficult pass to execute to get it to Camarena, but he'll be happy to have a nice dribble at the defence, get his sights set for probably he'll play the next game against PMS. So. And Nunez into Chan, and now Camarena, and it's 4-0. Really good finish from Camarena to round things off. We were 3-0 up at half time. Second half hasn't been as good, but that's a good way to finish. And that will be that. You'd have thought that would mean we are going to win the Copa MX. We'll show you the other game just in case anything crazy happens when we're away from home, but I would think we can rotate quite nicely for that game. And as you can see, we are sitting in second place, 4 points behind Pachuca, level on points with Chivas and 1 ahead of Monterrey. But I think we're in a safe position. We might even without the other issues of having already got the Apertura win, I think we might qualify as the top points getter for the entire season, because we've been so much more consistent than anyone else. And here we go again. After a 2-1 win against Pumas that continued our rise up the table to second place, we're only 1 point behind now. Here is our lineup for today. So Barbosa comes into midfield, so Chan is on the right hand side. Meza starts on the left. Quintero, Morones and Valdez start in the centre of defence as we had to give rest to our first choice centre backs. And Victor Hugo Nunez, who actually has just signed, he's now back on loan again for next season as well. He is playing today. Quite excited to have Nunez for a bit longer. He's a really good player. He's our key player actually, and he's just a useful option to have because he is also a young Mexican player, which really suits us. I think in the next transfer window we're going to need to sign some younger Mexican players just to get the numbers up, because there are certain requirements for different competitions that require young under 21 Mexicans. Unfortunately, we're already behind, but they've still got a long way to come back, and if we get any away goals, really, they're even further away. Calderon now. Ball rebounds off him, but he gets another bite at the cherry, and unfortunately the cross he then sends in isn't quite good enough to find one of our guys properly. Now throwing in to Chan. Finds a good ball into Meza, and Mercado finds Lopez. And I thought it was a save, but actually it must have bounced over. Not far off there from Jorge Lopez. And now Mesa's picked up some kind of injury. Zubiate's missed out this game due to not a broken jaw, something damaged jaw, some kind of damaged jaw. So he's just out for 3 to 4 days. But that does mean that he misses this game. Hopefully Meza will be okay though. He's okay enough to score a goal. So I guess he's fine. We'll see. He's not got a proper knock, he's just got one of those that knocks the fitness a bit. And now I think they'll need to score 6 overall to beat us. So we're in a pretty good position. Gelos into Montano. Oh, and that's a nice bit of play from Meza. Finds Camarena, and I thought he'd scored, but apparently not. Looked like it was heading in. It was a decent attempt from him. But just drifted wide of the right-hand post. Not a bad try, though. It's really good tenacity from Meza as well to pick up the ball before that. I've had lots of shots so far, not many on target. I suspect that means we're just taking lots of long shots, which isn't ideal, but we're in a position that it's we're pretty safe, I think. If this turns around, then something's gone really wrong. Sukar finds Valdez. We were looking to build from the back, but Valdez has just whacked it long and given them a chance. But now the ball is back with Chan. Finds Nunez and Mercado. Calderon now. Barbosa giving him an option. Looks into the box and finds Meza, who puts it in the net again. And that will surely mean we are the Copa MX winners as well as the Apertura winners. And now that we seem to have got over the complacency we faced at the start of the Clausura, I'd actually fancy us to go out and perhaps even win that. This team already, although we're not the greatest team individuals-wise, got a really good mentality and a good team spirit that really gets us through a lot of games. Salto manages to score a really good goal in the end, but probably not going to be enough to change the outcome of the game in the end. Jorge Lopez into Quintero, Morones. Good ball from Nunez, and now Calderon on the right hand side has tons of space, but it's eventually made its way to the left hand side. Meza gets another chance, and Camarena, good finish, but Meza is absolutely running the show today. 2 assists, 2 goals and 1 assist. What a performance from him so far. He's certainly making it difficult to miss Zubiate. And we went for a pretty safe option for the team talk there, but it has worked, so that's a good sign. Hopefully we won't be complacent, we'll just go out there and make sure that we get on to that we are the ones picking up the silverware at the end of the day. Ooh, that was very nice from Salto. Almost scored an absolute banger there, but it was a really good bit of dribbling from him. Couldn't quite get the finish he was looking for, but it wasn't a bad attempt. And now a free kick on the left-hand side of our box. And Acosta with a pretty simple finish in the end. I mean, he did finish it well, but it wasn't exactly marked well. I think it's probably Meza or Calderon that were marking him, so to speak. There's always really high-scoring double-legged games in Mexico for some reason on FM. Don't know if that's the thing that happens in real life too much, or whether it's just FM being FM. But we've had some pretty exciting games in in these tournaments. Sukar into Valdez. Going to start making some substitutions in a moment because Nunez and Mercado are both very tired. Don't want to get any injuries really, because Zubiarte being out already is a bit of a blow. We've at least got good depth in that area, but Camarena with a wonderful finish. He looked a little bit offside to me, but that is a phenomenal finish from him. Let's get Edson Mora. He's more of a left back, but he'll do that. And then Guerra can come on alongside Barbosa. Acosta now sends it long for De La Cruz, who you may remember slightly terrorising our defence at times in the semi-final of the Apertura, but not quite enough to really prove, enough of a challenge to mount for our players. And we don't actually have any options to come on for Calderon, so I guess he's just going to have to survive, which is quite sad for him really. But yeah, let's get Sosa on for Meza. Get some legs, get some running into his legs, because he's not in the greatest shape. He's barely played in recent times. And now Salto on the right hand side with the throw in. This might be a goal. Ooh. Oliver off the post. I think he was offside, which is why we've got a free kick now, and so Sukar takes that calmly into Valdez, and now Chan, overlapped by Calderon, somehow managed to keep hold of the ball there. Even then, when he lost it, it came back to us instantly. Oh, that's a really good ball from Barbosa into Lopez. And it's made its way out to Mora, who heads it calmly into the path of Calderon. Now on the right hand side of the box, finds Barbosa and Camarena, and Chan eventually loses his out on the edge of the box. Looked like we could have hundreds of chances to shoot there, but eventually their defending was efficient enough to stop that. Our wall looks very short. I'm not surprised we've not managed to keep that one out, because it looked like we'd just taken, aside from the guy on the end, they all look rather small. Maybe it's just he's really tall, but certainly there were some players that did not look tall at all there. But 4-all is basically what we needed. 5-4, okay, 4-all. We'll stick with 4-all, that's fine by me. But winning a final on aggregate 8-4 is quite an unusual one. But I'll take it, We're winning the trophy, we're going to be the ones holding it up. Something good is going on at Santos Laguna here. We've done so well since I've joined to really steady the ship from a team that was 18th in the Apertura last year, winning the Apertura this year, winning the Copa MX, and doing pretty well in the Clausura as well. We've certainly made the right kind of signings, and we've got really good mentalities in the team. I think everyone's pulling in the same direction. That's really what we need. So if we have a look at the competitions, as you can see, we're 1 point behind Pachuca. 9 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses. Most of the bad results actually came ages ago, I think. Had a bit of a bad run in the Apertura here. Had a decent start, actually, as it seems. Oh no, that's the Apertura, not the Clausura. I am stupid. If we have a look at the Clausura, we had not the greatest start, but we managed to steady the ship. And now we're in a decent position. 2nd place. We've got just, I think that's 5 more games. Yeah, 5 more games before the playoffs. But we're doing really well. and we're celebrating a double, which is always really exciting to have. And it's great to have a team that are able to do that. Last time we won was 26-27, so a fair little while, not too long, but a little while. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it really helps me out. In the meantime, though, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.